Yeah, overall, it was fun to watch them put away these big teams. The only other team that they could have beaten within this run would have been Vitality, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you wish after they beat Falcons, Blast come out and they go, but actually, Vitality, you've got to play them now. And it's like, they have to take on Vitality in the final game or something.
The spin the wheel, and that's
And it's
their reward.
Vitality is the reward. That would be sick, right?
Come on, let me hear it. Let's get louder. Welcome to Talking Counter.
So I'm making sure everything's good. Both of our mics are on. Mics 1 and 2. That makes sense. 1 and 2 are on.
We did the sound check,
Yeah, just talk, Janko.
talking.
It all appears to be working.
It's all great.
So now I'm going to have to upload this. But Jason said, this, a pipe burst, and he's doing B-Stream tech checks. So what do you reckon from the point of us finishing recording this to uploading this?
I think it's going to be fine because the pipe bursting is a pretty serious thing, right?
It is a serious thing.
So, people are going to be there ASAP. I mean, how long would it take you to answer an emergency call, Chad?
Well, in the snow, I probably wouldn't go.
Oh yeah, shit. There's that's why it burst because
said it
it's
was
like
minus 21
100 or so,
So
whatever.
he said it was -5, which translates to minus 21 Celsius or something.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're getting fucked.
That's mental.
They're getting absolutely fucked over there. So unlucky to Jason. I hope that it was the kid's birthday the other day. So hopefully everything's staying good, staying in the
Staying
snow.
warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I was going to say that, people are going to come around. They're going to get to fixing it. Even though it's the B-Stream tech checks, and they're doing it from NA, people that are checking them are in the EU, so they want to get it done as soon as possible so they can go to sleep. So I think it'll be fine. By the time we're done recording it and you upload it, I mean...
Internet's fast here.
Internet's fast,
It's
so...
real fast.
Jason
PC's real good.
Jason should be able to get right on it. Yeah, I mean, you really pulled through on this one, Chad.
Yeah, I've been pulling the strings behind the scenes. Shout out to ESL and PGL. They both TOs who give PCs.
Yep.
Great creature comfort, makes life a whole lot more good. And when I'm not traveling with my laptop, means I can do podcasts, don't need to carry around that hefty thing, and I get to play some CS.
It's such a game changer. I mean, for some lore, we did have a period in, 2017, I feel like, where we were all, we were traveling so much that we couldn't game as much as we wanted. So we all bought gaming laptops, right? And we all bought the 60% keyboards. We all bought the small mouse pads, right? We were all going to get on it. And some people played more. I couldn't get, I sold the laptop after a month because I just can't. If I don't have
it's not a good setup,
laptop and a full keyboard, I can't play CS. And, not even less so the single player games that I like to play. You could play something like Hades on it or maybe Frostpunk, some of those RTS games or Rome Total War, things along those lines, but you couldn't properly game. And it was a decent chunk of money at the time to put in.
They're still not cheap these days.
Yeah.
Alex bought one when we were in Budapest.
Yeah, so we tried that once, didn't work out. We stayed away. We were mostly socializing back then, even yourself, Chad. But then
true.
The pandemic happened and it was an absolute necessity. And luckily, it stuck around.
That's true. I don't think the Blast people are as fortunate. I don't think they get the PC hookup.
I wouldn't know, Chad.
That's true. Sorry, Janko. But yeah, PGL, they give us PCs and ESL as well. So it's kind of nice. Because I put a picture up of the snow when I was landing and this, and someone messaged and they were like, is that your own PC? I can't imagine if I'm traveling around the world with that. That'd be fucking crazy. But
I think Steele traveled with his, but he has the
mini thing.
Nook. I don't know how you pronounce
Nook,
it.
yeah.
Nook, yeah.
Well, that's what I'd say.
Right. So he has that. I mean, honestly, and who started doing this? Crony is also a smart cookie. What he does is he just carries his SSD with him.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Right?
Plug and play.
Exactly.
That's pretty smart.
We should all be doing that.
If you had a gaming laptop and you got provided a monitor,
that's what Chev does. Yeah. Holy shit, we're ticking all the boxes.
And Chev's here this time.
Chev's here. He had a nightmare.
I can't believe that story. It's like he got stuck in Central Europe, just in the Bermuda Triangle of countries.
Yeah, it's kind of mental. So Chev was doing bounty in Malta.
Didn't want to fly Ryanair.
Too good for Ryanair,
Chev. No, but there was one at 12:40. I was on that one.
All right. I didn't know. He didn't mention that one, but he's trying to get the points. He's on that chat, just like yourself, right? You love the points. So he flew from Malta to Munich and was supposed to fly from Munich to Krakow yesterday with some other people too. that flight got cancelled. So they rebooked him to Frankfurt because there was a flight later that day from Frankfurt to Krakow. So still on the same day, just later, that flight got cancelled too. So now he had to sleep in a hotel.
Okay, at least he went to a hotel.
Yeah, he got that, but he had to get up at like 5 or 6 a.m. because the next flight to Krakow from Frankfurt was at like 7 or 8 a.m.
Today.
Yes.
Okay.
And then that got cancelled. So I saw his story and I'm like sitting, at the airport waiting for my flight to Krakow. And I'm like, what's going on, bro? Didn't you like leave yesterday? He's like, that happened. Now I'm flying to Vienna and then I'm supposed to go to Krakow from Vienna. I'm like, cool, I'm waiting for you in the lounge because I flew from Belgrade to Vienna and then just had from Vienna to Krakow and we got to Krakow, no problems. I guess it was some weather yesterday that was the problem that a lot of people
Was it
got
here
delayed.
or was it in Germany?
No,
and stuff?
I think in Krakow.
Yeah,
no?
I think it could have been here because I know Dupree got in super late last night.
G2 was late
Yeah.
to media today.
Dupree had to take a bus for 3 hours
What?
because they didn't land him here. They landed him in like an airport that's further away because they had to redirect flights or something.
Oh my God.
So
bro.
Kinga was saying people were landing in Warsaw or another one, which I'll butcher, so I won't even try. But
Lodz, Gdansk,
I don't know, man.
Katowice.
No, definitely not there. That's only 40 minutes away. Fun fact for people at home: if you land at the Krakow airport, I got to make sure I say Krakow because I've been Krakow. If you land at the Krakow airport, it's 40 minutes to Katowice or it's 40 minutes to Krakow city.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. If you go to Katowice, you can fly to Krakow. It all works out in the wash. So that's a fun travel tip. If you're ever thinking, I'm going to Katowice, dude. When I drove up today, you weren't in the shuttle. Well, you were in the shuttle. And I was saying to Harry, because he hadn't seen the tour on before, because you were there in 2017. Yeah. And I said to him, yeah, have you seen it? He's like, nah. I'm like, it's fucking big. Like when you drive up and you see it, it's like, oh, it's a proper arena. It's twice as big as the Spodek. I don't remember it either.
I don't remember, but it's not even like the size of the arena inside. It's just the sheer size of the building somehow.
Yeah.
Like, we've been to big arenas before. I mean, Belgrade has a pretty big arena, but just, I know this building
it's shaped.
It's the way it's shaped, where it's like wider and taller for some reason. I don't know, but yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah, so like seeing that, it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna get a lot more people in there than what we would have in the Spodek and stuff. So that'd be good. Like where we're staying right now, we're neighbors. Everyone from the broadcast crew's on the same floor. What else is going on here? We get steamers instead of irons. That's how you know you're in a modern hotel. Your TV has Chromecast. Look at this mini fridge. There's nothing in it, but look at it.
Yeah, you can put stuff in it. It's right next to the
PC.
Yeah,
it's actually perfect.
It's actually lit. I wish we had 5 weeks of Pro League here. Like
to think we had Pro League 5 weeks a couple years ago, then down to 3. Now just
2.5.
Now just down to 2.
And then it's going to be like
A
less
week
than
and a
2
bit.
weeks.
Yeah. They've done us there, haven't they? I traveling with the new. I know that they're only temporarily sponsoring us, but friend of the show, we could say, Wooting, friend of the show. I mean, I brought out the 60 HEV2 for a go, so I've been using that since I've been here. It's quite nice. Obviously hefty in the bag. That's the thing. Chev maybe had too much luggage. That's why he couldn't travel Ryanair. The guys from Liquid, like Nertz and Ultimate, they were on the flight. They were sitting just behind me. They got stung the bag fee. Their bags were too big because on Ryanair you only get like a small one. You got to pay for, and they got stung the 60 euros or whatever it was. Sounded like they were absolutely spewing it. Lige, smart enough, he looked online. He saw my bag's too big. He got the upgrade. I got the upgrade. We were laughing.
That all makes so much sense.
Lige checking, of course. Like when he was explaining it to him, I'm like, that's so Lige. Like the other boys, Nerds and Ultimate, not even have a look, and he's like, yeah, I had a look. Yeah, no, mine's all good. Yep, that's why. It's a smart man, Lige. He's I don't think he'd ever traveled Ryanair before.
I haven't.
It's just a flight. This is the thing. From Malta, your directs are so few and far between. Like when
it's true, you have to take the win when you can.
I'm going to Cluj. It's going to take me 10 hours to get to Cluj. I have like a 6-hour layover in Turkey.
Yeah, man. I'm going through Turkey too.
Why does it take so long to get? I guess Cluj is a weird airport.
It's not like a huge. There's not like a ton of flights that go there, and then also Malta is weird. Like you don't have a ton of options. Like for me, it was. I have a Turkish one that's pretty good, but. Yeah, also Serbia, like Air Serbia is right next to it, so there's options.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just this is one of the things, especially in winter with Malta. It's like because when we go to Stockholm as well, I was having a look at some flights today for that, and there's nothing direct there either. So It's good and
the
it's
price
bad.
you have to pay, Chad,
Yeah.
right? But, as long as you have a flight to Frankfurt, you can fly anywhere else.
There is a flight though that you can get that does the technical stop in Cyprus, goes to Qatar, and then you go Qatar direct to Perth. So that's fucking lit.
Yeah,
that's
there you go.
that's a plus. I like that. That's pretty good.
There you
But flight troubles aside, because you got in a bit late. No, were you late? You weren't late.
I
You
was.
just
I
arrived
came in today, yeah.
Yeah, but you weren't. Your flight wasn't late.
No,
Yeah,
my flight was
everything
on
worked.
time.
Didn't
I was
lose your
supposed to
bag.
arrive a day late.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's okay. Harry did the same thing. Him and Alex, after we were on the way back, and like Harry has to film a skit like 30 minutes after we get back. And I'm walking into the hotel, and they were talking in the shuttle, and Harry's like, "Yeah, I want to go to this Magic the Gathering," and they'd already been there today for these cards. And Alex is like, "Yeah, but like we can go later. Like we don't need to go. We go another day. They close at 7, and the skit's meant to be filming at 7." And then I'm walking in the hotel door. They're like here, and Harry just keeps going. I'm like, "Where the fuck are you going?" "I'm going to the store." I learned something as well, and Jason's not here to defend himself, so this is perfect. Apparently, Jason is balls deep in the Magic and hasn't told us, and has intentionally not told us. He's playing Magic games online. Apparently, he's appearing offline on Steam, or like appearing like so we can't tell what game
my
he's
God.
in. Playing Magic the Gathering games like Alex and stuff, building his decks like real deck. He's balls deep in the Magic, and he's been hiding it from us and the show.
Was it maybe? Did he talk about this in the episode that we did before the playoffs of Budapest?
About Magic?
Yeah,
Yeah. But briefly,
right, because
briefly.
we did one with Maui too.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe maybe it was in that one and you weren't there. And he said he had some ratty deck.
Yeah. Oh no,
Which is
I
so
called him.
Jason.
Yeah. He's doing so. Yeah, but this is the thing. I've learned from the other guys, and they said to give him a hard time about it. That he's playing all the time. Like during the off period, he was always playing. Messaging us. "Oh, I got time for a quick game," but he's hiding it. He's not showing it on Steam.
Yeah, that's the weird part, right?
Why is he hiding
what,
it?
It's because
Now
he
we're
doesn't
gonna
want-
bully him.
He doesn't want to see people him grinding the game.
I don't know.
So that they think he sucks, but actually he's like way more advanced than
I think didn't want us to know. I think that's it. But now that we've found out, it's worse. If he was honest about it. But now that we know, here's the problem. Last week, people thought that I was bullying Jason.
But we're always bullying Jason.
Yeah,
aren't
but
we?
are we? Or is he just playing the victim card?
I think he plays the victim card a little bit to spicy up the conversation.
Okay, all right.
But sometimes he just says dumb shit. I think, we all do. It's
We
fine.
all do, yeah,
It
yeah.
happens,
Yeah.
that's okay. But I mean, I can relate to the Magic the Gathering stuff because, man, I'm like, I kind of hate how hooked I am to this Catan.
Yeah, I knew you were
game.
going to say that.
I know, I knew you did, but it's like, I could play it for like as long as like I'd lose sleep over it just to keep playing,
Fuck
kind
it
of, even
out.
though I have shit to do. I have a little kid, someone needs to take care of, right, and all of that stuff. But I actually said this the other night when we were playing. It's like, bro, this is like CS was for me. I could just keep grinding.
Okay.
It's like so much twisted fun in a way.
But that's
you know?
cool, right?
So
It's nice to have, because CS was that like obsession, right? It was that thing that you would be thinking about when
you
you
just
weren't
want to
thinking
play
about
more. You
things.
just want to
Yeah.
queue again, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. It's just queue again. Just let's start a new game. Let's just go again.
Yeah. Whereas like CS right now, the idea of getting in a face it queue, it scares me because I haven't played
Well,
in a
you're
while.
crazy to me, bro, because like I could never solo queue. I don't think I solo queued like in CS ever. I didn't. I did for a little bit like in League in 2010 or whenever it came out before Dota 2 came out, and I was like playing CS along with it. And I was losing my mind there, and I realized like I can't solo queue in team games. I don't have the right mindset for it.
Well, I know that
But you're
Aaron,
zen as fuck, so
well, yeah. Aaron and Justin just got back from Beijing, and Yam's been around again. So I messaged Aaron today. I think he's jet lagged and not feeling too well. But I said, because we got these PCs, I said, well, I'm here if you boys want to play some Face It. Because I don't think they have another event lined
me
up.
and Shab are fucking gonna grind.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna help him if he can't do it on his own to get that monitor.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's all he needs. He has a sick laptop, and we're gonna be grinding.
Oh,
I
nice.
haven't played it in a long time.
Yeah. No, this is the thing. Like, once you get into it, it's so good. But the scary part is getting back into it because you know that there's these sweaty 16-year-olds in there that are just fucking playing all the time because they don't have anything else to do, which is fair. That was me, right? That was me 16 years ago. Or was it maybe 18 years ago? No, it was 20 years ago, actually. Fucking hell.
Moving along.
Anyway, so yeah, today was good. I don't know if the people at home are interested. There'll be a sitting desk. That's cool. You guys get a sitting desk.
Yeah.
When was the last time you had a
happy-
sitting desk? E-League?
That was the first thought that came to mind. It has to be something before, but that's the first one that
we did sitting desks in like Epicenter. Because you and me and Alex sit in an ice hockey locker room, right? And,
right.
Yeah, there's the two cameramen and
weren't quite the same.
No.
Sitting desks.
true.
But I prefer it over what was had before because the angle or the height of the desk was just really awkward. I just feel like whether you're sitting or standing, you should be visible from like
There upwards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from like your torso upwards, a little bit above your belly button, because this is from this above is all you need to
Yeah,
do your hand
gesticulate.
movements, gesticulate, right, and do that. I don't need to be standing up. I don't need to be, like on some bar stool or whatever people try to do over the years, and you can lean on. It's like sort of you are having a back and forth, right? It just makes more sense, and I used to say this to ESL all the time. It's like your base is in Cologne, right? Where you have the one big event. And the other one was in Katowice until recently, where you have had the offices. So surely you can just build it in one of the two places and just once a year truck it to the other place.
Yeah.
And that way you also have a separation in terms of the product from your championship event to just the IEMs, right? And it adds more to it. So I'm happy they finally
got to pass the keeper.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be better. There's still some small tweaks they could do with it, so you can get a little bit closer to it. But
are you having to sit away from it?
Yeah, a little bit. But those are all small things, we don't talk about those.
Okay,
we're taking the wins where we are now.
Well, it looks pretty much exactly like the setup that I'm talking about where the players are as we have in Katowice, right? Like it's the hall. It's the same thing as in Cologne, essentially, right? But Cologne, we have the mezzanine because we're in the Palladium. But, they've essentially rebuilt what we had in Katowice. The players are facing each other. There's the glasses there. There's the camera rail behind them. You guys are at one end. There's the 4 sets of 2. We're up, where were we in? It's actually better than it was for us as casters in this event, because when we would do Katowice, we would be behind a black curtain or like behind a wooden door. Right now, we're like in some bleachers and we can see down, but we can't see everything. So it's not as good as Cologne's group setup, but it is better than the Katowice group setup from a caster perspective. So that's pretty good. So that'll be good fun. And we're already in the arena, not in the main portion, but we're in like a wing of the venue. So like people will get used to going there. It's only 10 minutes down the road. It all seems pretty good so far. Like I don't have any complaints.
No, me neither.
I've done a lot of complaining lately, so.
Yeah, it's my favorite pastime. But yeah, it's going to be fun to chop it up with Dupree there, and also our secret analyst. Mystery guest.
I saw people going, it's Thorin. I was like, guys, if it was Cologne, you could maybe start making that thing, but it's like,
he's not ever
I don't think it's going to be Duncan.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. It's different than what you would see usually at ESL events or really any other event in that regard. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a new challenge, a different sort of a challenge, and I think that and some of the changes in the run of show and how things are going to be done when it comes to the desk, I think it will be better than it was before.
Yeah. Cool. I'm curious, because we don't really see too many viewers having critical conversations about the desks and stuff. So it's probably something that's more of a pain point for us than it is.
Yeah, but
for them.
I think the reason for that is because there's not as many people pay attention to it, because they feel like there's not enough value for them to tune in, which I can't argue against too much for some of these events, right? And especially for the earlier stages of events. Like if you get to a playoff of any IEM, really, especially Cologne and Katowice,
people are tuned in now.
There's ample time as well, which gives the people on the desk opportunity to make their points, to have meaningful discussions, to have meaningful segments, and everything like that. It's some of these earlier stages where the schedule is a problem and this and that, where it's like, well, how much can you really do in 3 minutes? What can you break down in 3 minutes? What engaging conversation can you pull off in that little time, right? So those are some of the issues that have been plaguing it. Some not inconsistencies, but also, I mean, depends on the people who you got there too.
Yeah.
right?
Personnel's a point too. Yeah.
There's been a problem of sorts maybe for a little while. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be different, right? And yeah, hopefully there's some things that are definitely appreciated. There's going to be different things as well. This is becoming later in the tournament, but I know like MC's been doing some HUD stuff, and maybe there's going to be some more graphical representation stuff of like positions that people could look out for. But people have to wait and see when they come, because like any event, right, whether or not when you're watching at home it looks like things are on fire, normally like the first day is like patching any holes in the boat, right? So the first day is always going to take a while to get things together, and then from there we'll see what starts happening. So hopefully everything's smooth. I've been talking to the players. Everyone seems fine besides the guys who have been delayed. Asking a bit about Anubis, asking about the MP7.
Something that stuck out?
I asked about the MP7 a lot, right? Like that was something that I was getting into on a regular basis. And people are sounding like they feel like it's going to be used. You know, whether we're going to see it as a use case like outside of anti-force buys, right? I don't know. But, you know, Nertz was very happy they buffed his gun. But he was a bit sad that he won't be unique anymore. So that was his take there.
So he didn't really think it was good. He was just doing it to be special.
Well, I think he thought it was good, but now it's better. Yeah. Right? So
now everyone will think it is good.
Yeah. But we'll have to wait and see with all that stuff, because like I would play deathmatch and I'd run around with it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Like you're getting dinks at range, and you're able to burst with it, or you spam someone down like 6 bullets to the body, I think it is. So, okay. But I also, the purist in me is like, I don't want another SMG fucking running around the game, mate. I barely have just come to terms with the MP9 and Mac 10. Like, I don't need another thing in the mix right now, and seeing a full fucking MP7 half buy round against rifles and they're just shredding. Because if you don't have head armor, that thing's going to fuck you up, right? So, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But otherwise, there wasn't too many crazy takeaways. The lobby was pretty mild today. I wanted to do some bits with Rush, but his call time was pretty late, and then it was time for me to go and then go back for rehearsal and everything. So, yeah, it's just a pretty chill media day for me, to be honest. Nothing crazy.
Yeah. I didn't do anything except for the production meeting.
yeah, but that
I had
was
some
the
stuff
meeting
on
was
the
good.
other days. Yeah, it's all.
I got to film
up.
some stuff tomorrow, I think, as well.
Yeah, me too. It's for some skit.
Yeah, I don't know what the skit is.
We won't.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Here, obviously.
Oh, you know what it is?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Maybe it's. I don't know if it's the same. Yeah, it is the same skit.
Why have I not? Maybe I have been told.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I think Frank cooked again.
Okay.
It's like nice.
Okay. All right. Okay.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something else. Then you kind of threw me off.
The day, the media.
No. Yeah, but you said a really cool thing in the meeting where it's like this might be the only event of the year outside of the majors where it's like the top 24 teams in the VRS are all going to be attending.
Yeah. I said that last night on HTV Confirmed. And
okay.
Striker went to fact check me, and then he came back and he was like, well, EWC, but it's like, not really, because maybe the teams who qualify through the open qualifier could be ranked,
100, whatever.
Right? Yeah, but they could be ranked 21, 22, 20, right? But that might not happen. Obviously, if we had Cologne this year, it would be the same as at Cologne, right, from the invite date. But this is the only one of this caliber and scale, and where the event is placed, the level of importance it has on the VRS. And I think it only dawned for Prof when we started going through the matches, and I'm going through and I'm like, boys, who do you think is going to win? And they're like, they've realized that how tough it is to pick winners of all these games is how fucking tight all these teams are going to be. Like, this event is stacked. And it's stacked to start the year, which is quite scary because new rosters, new map pool, even though it's a map we all know that has slight changes, and a lot of not a lot of teams, but there are some teams we haven't even seen play officials yet. Like no Mouse, no G2, no Bait. Right, their Orpa is a 16-year-old kid from their academy team.
Yeah,
Segukawa. Another one of these guys who's got to be like definitely influenced by anime. Segukawa,
yeah, no doubt.
I've never heard that before.
Crunchyroll fan.
Yeah, he's a big subscriber. No, I saw him today, and I did the lobby stuff with him, and I watched a couple of his Face It games last night because I wanted to see how he was in the AWP, like just to see generally. And I watched 3 games, and he was rarely AWPing. And I was like, well, what the fuck? And I asked him today, I'm like, yo, dude, like, I watched your games. You weren't AWPing. He's like, AWPing sucks on Face It. And I was like, fair enough. Like, fair enough.
Might try to improve at other areas of the game, I guess. Fair play.
Yeah. So I just went, okay, well, we'll wait and see what you put in the server tomorrow. Because, yeah, like, if you look at the matches and all of these head-to-heads, I think, like, we have Aurora versus Gamer Legion, and winner of that plays into Heroic versus Parivision.
Yes.
Down the bottom side, we've got like Astralis versus Pain, and winner of that plays into NRG versus
Bait.
Okay, so that's one that I feel like I'd be confident in Bait, but also they have a new AWPer, so pretty integral role.
Yeah, that hat trick thing was a bit
I guess they're just
strange, just the way they communicated it, I guess, to him, and
Yeah.
they were like taking people on trials, so they might have kept him. But when you do that, it's not like, the Brokey thing, for example, you bench him, right, for a tournament or two, so he has a wake-up call, and then you see if he did, was working on himself during that benching, and you give him an opportunity or not, right, or you just move forward like with someone else, right? But this was just, we're trying people out, and if you can find someone who's not terrible, like, you're benched.
Yeah.
Right? But we just want to give ourselves a
way
out,
Yeah.
in case there's no one out there, because we know what the situation is on the market, and there's been teams there that wanted to make a move but couldn't make one happen, either because of buyouts or, couldn't find the right fit and whatnot. So yeah, that was just like, if we find anyone decent, you're out.
You're out, yeah. So I guess it's also crazy they're happy to take a gamble on a 16-year-old kid from their academy team who doesn't have a match on HLTV over head trick. I guess they're just not happy with like the level of output he's finding in the server, right? So we'll see what happens.
I don't know,
man.
even, man. Like, these days, it might be just approach thing, a culture thing. Like, look at Senzu in Mongols.
Yeah, true.
It's not an on-server performance type of a thing, and I love it, man. In the sense of, if teams are putting like more emphasis on that sort of a thing,
the
culture, approach, work ethic, whatever it may be, is like, listen, if you are not going to do things the right way, what we believe is the right way, like, you're out. I don't care if you're Hedrick or Senzu, who was 13
in the world.
Yeah,
I think it was 13.
We should not bring up the list, though. That was my bad.
list.
I apologize to the viewers. I apologize to everyone except Asylum
And Jason.
And Jason.
And Jason.
So yeah, I'm all for it in that sense.
Yeah, I think right, there's the strange one was like this exotic guy as well for NRG, and he's like, nah, I'm not playing anymore. So then they bring back OC.
Yeah.
Then OC's in. At least they have Nitro with them this time, so Daps doesn't have to play. So that'll be okay, because NRG, obviously, the last event was the major. Actually, no, they played a North American event since then, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, either the
Did they play
Flom
Flomland?
thing, or there was Fragadelphia too. One of the two. Or
Were
maybe
they in the
both.
Flomland final against M80? I think they were. I think they lost to M80 in the Flomland final.
Let's see.
Or it could have been the Miami.
They lost to M80 in the Flomland
There you
final.
go.
Yes,
So,
13-10, 13-1.
They've got some reps in this year already. I think there's just like the team that I want to see putting on a good level of Counter-Strike out of this set of teams is probably G2, right? Because they're the one who feels like they're next up out of the squads. Who else am I missing? Like Aurora with Soulfly, haven't seen enough. Also, they feel like they're on a bit of a downward trajectory.
And you have Parivision.
Oh, that's
who are
right.
Now ranked
Of course.
4. They're on that side of the bracket. They're playing Heroic in their first game.
Do you know how juicy that is? Youngster, I think it was Youngster, maybe it was Tobers, one of the two when I was talking to him today, was like, now that they are ranked that, I think it was Tobers, is like, it makes it a juicy prospect to beat them. Like, there's a lot of points on the line, right, with that type of a head-to-head. So we'll see what happens there, because even though Parivision just won this event, this is general feeling like, and I feel like even the camp from Parivision is also not trying to not overplay things. It's like, yeah, this is a great result, but, we're a young team and da. So there is a chance that they lose to a Heroic, or they lose to a Gamer Legion or a fucking Aurora, right?
Yep.
Like there is those chances. It's not just going to be easy beats for Parivision. But yeah, I guess you're right. Parivision and G2 then are my two teams that from this set of teams, I want to see progress to the next stage.
I think probably should have done this before, but I guess we need to digress somewhat with the bounty result.
Yes, you're right. We probably should.
Yeah, should have opened with that in a way.
Yeah. Well, did you have expectations of Falcons with a stand-in?
Well, like expectations wouldn't be the right way to put it. In the sense of when they have a stand-in, right? You have a stand-in, and it's for your second best player,
Yeah.
and the one who takes the second most space on the team. But then when it's like Parivision on the other side, and you saw NiKo was having a good tournament, you're feeling like, all right,
possible,
like NiKo
okay.
and Monesi could, potentially, and that's why I also wanted to bring it up. It's like it's another final where Monesi sort of a bit of a letdown, and
He was missing some shots, that's for sure. I also think there was some scenarios where they didn't do enough to save to keep the AWP in play. So are you zooming in to see just how?
see where we're at, so I can send Jason a timestamp.
Okay, well, just how dark it is. Oh, for a timestamp. Okay.
No, for like this is where we digressed to talk about bounty, and then you can put that and bring back, because we're not going to talk for too long.
He's going to have a miserable time, I think, today. I'm sorry, Jason. He's also not going to watch all of this. But yeah, Monesi was definitely missing some shots. I think there were scenarios where they could have tried to hold on to the AWP because you need to facilitate in his hands. But also when he had the AWP, he was missing shots he would normally hit. So whether that's Parivision, because Parivision kept Molodoi quiet, they kept Monesi quiet, and they kept Donk relatively quiet. Right, that's crazy when you think about that run of players and teams that they're able to put away there. That's what's so impressive about the Parivision win, right? I feel like I didn't do enough Parivision glazing on HTV Confirmed, which
Now's your chance.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because I feel like they played really well, and I obviously they won the event, but I also enjoyed it. And normally with James games, at least back in the VP days, outside of the major, that's not even a pun. I thought they were boring, right? But at the major, because you always talk about this, they found a balance, right? They were explosive. They had pace changes. They weren't just slow, methodical, obnoxious Counter-Strike. They had everything. And when I'm watching Parivision, they have everything, right? They do a lot of 4-1 or a lot of 5-man stuff. And I think come Inferno, NiKo started to work that out. And he was just walking through smokes and finding timings and stuff behind them. But yeah, overall, it was fun to watch them put away these big teams. The only other team that they could have beaten within this run would have been Vitality, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you wish after they beat Falcons, Blast come out and they go, but actually, Vitality, you've got to play them now. And it's like, they have to take on Vitality in the final game or something.
The spin the wheel, and that's
it's
their reward.
Vitality is the reward. That would be sick, right? Like there we go. That's the type of game show we're looking for. But yeah, I think like the young guys on Parivision, Nota, Zilo, Belchinok's doing his role very well. I think like people look at his stats and go, he's not very good, but he's doing what he has to for the team. And then Zwei coming into the mix. It's fun to watch. Kids who shoot hard and play proper Counter-Strike. They play the bomb, Janko. When I'm watching the bomb down there, and I'm like, wow, people remember the concepts from the olden days.
Yeah, the basics, the fundamentals. That's what Dustin is there for, and JAME too. I know the MVP was strange. I mean,
that's right, yeah.
NiKo did have some good moments. Definitely great match. The
They didn't base it off anything online. They only based it off LAN stuff.
That's how I would do it,
Yeah.
I guess, too. That's fine by me. I guess it's a shame that Nota didn't have a better game, at least slightly, prior to the final.
Yeah, it was the lowest rated Parivision
because
player
this
before
is
the
like,
final.
usually when a player wins the MVP who's not on the winning team, like they've had a remarkable tournament.
Yeah.
Like NiKo has had a good tournament. I don't think you can say he's had a remarkable tournament.
Well, I guess that's the thing with the format, though, right? Only 8 teams, so you're playing so few games on LAN.
Yeah, you'll
Right.
play like 3.
You're even
tops.
playing so few games overall with the online stuff, so it's not a lot of matches. So I think that also
I think it was like obvious. This one was going to cause controversy, without a doubt. I think it's just a unique situation because some of the things that you mentioned as well, and I don't really care about it as much. I care about what Parivision did like last year, not in terms of results, but in terms of the approach where they were, boot camping together the entire time. Jay making the sacrifice to be away from his family to do that, going from, a major winner and a tier 1 team to struggling, to being removed as the captain, and just a player to go up with this, like, players no one ever heard of, really.
Belchinok's the only one that we had slightly heard of before.
Exactly, and to grind tier 4 Counter-Strike, as he put it, and play online games and stuff. I mean, that's the sort of thing that you wanted, you were hoping to see from Simple in a way, right? Like to prove that he has the hunger for the game. And I think it's just a testament to James' commitment and his dedication, right? And I think it also shows that, man, if you have like just a couple of people at key places who know the game on a high enough level and can be good teachers, like you can bring almost anyone, you can make almost anything work.
Sure.
Like, these kids are mechanically skilled, but they've had to learn these other things, to read rotations and to read setups and how to play against tier 1 teams. Like they've only started doing that later on during James' tenure with the team. And I think it's just awesome. And I'm really happy to see a team that just grinded.
Yeah.
Find success and find results, because
NIP did it, but not to the same degree, right? It's not the same degree in the way that Jame went in the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, I don't even mean as much in terms of they grinded tier 4 CS. I mean, like they were like together all the time practicing and playing these online tournaments. Like just the commitment to, because that's the fastest way to getting better and to getting good. And Jame even said it. It's like, of course it's worth it. Like in a year, it took me 1 year to get to
achieve.
This.
Yeah. Depends on, one day or day one, right? Isn't that the... But yeah, I don't know. I also like some of their choices in scenarios. There was this one round on Dust 2, and I'm probably misremembering, but Falcons go out long, they get long control, and then the 2 B players, instead of going for an upper tunnels push to like take space, they actually, and I think they knew at the time there was no AWP as well in play. So they rerouted. Both B guys left B. They go down, they walk through mid doors, they walk through lower tunnels, and they have a guy short aggress at the same time, and they catch the B guy worrying about the B push because they've got long control. I'm like, it's just these things. Like they've walked through mid doors dry, right? They know they've lost long, so but they're making gambles. They're making these assumptions based off good logic, and they do it in a heartbeat. Like as soon as that happened, they reacted to it. I don't know who called it, probably Jame, right? But either way, like I just admired some of their movements from the macro perspective. I thought it was really fun to watch. There was a lot to appreciate. There was like certain scenarios as well where Falcons are getting, I don't want to say unlucky, but the choices they're making are not bad choices based off the information they have. There's like another Dust 2 round. I think it's the one where NiKo gets left in the 1v3 at short. So m0NESY's like trying to transition back to short behind the smokes that they had thrown. It was a scuffed like round where they fought on A. James AWPing mid-long and takes a shot on Kixon, who drops down CT on this A execute. Zwei actually kills him, but they know the AWP's mid-long now. So then once they plant in sight, Tesses and Nucleons don't want to stand up or take an angle where James can AWP them, but James drops all the way back pit. So these 2 guys are crouched in sight just looking like tits. Fucking m0NESY's scared as fuck, doesn't want to go quad, doesn't want to get across to short in case he gets caught, and then he gets caught to them scaling up CT. Nucleons moves to quad, Tesses dies, Nucleon swings from quad. Now NiKo's left in a 1v3 situation, and it's like, you're never winning this. So it's just like, there's moments that went against Falcons that they were tough moments. Like they're just tough moments.
They're used to it at this point.
Yeah, battle hardened. Nucleon's like, obviously the final wasn't great for him, but he had some good moments otherwise. So like the kid was doing his job.
I think it was admirable considering the circumstances.
We beat
right?
Vitality, mate.
Yeah, exactly. And then he had a good showing on that decider as well. So I think it's just, again, the situation he was put in, despite someone's, but he was with them in the boot camp. He was seeing what they were doing. It's like, bro, that leap that you just have to make, even mentally, from being on the academy team to now playing with, NiKo and m0NESY
against Zywu,
and now you're going
and
on LAN and you're playing against these guys and you're beating, and all of a sudden you're in the grand final. I mean, I think his goal was for them to just make the LAN, so it's not like ended up being. Well, actually, Kyosuke was playing during the online part. But even
just to not get embarrassed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that this is a part of the thing that Alex talks about, the term that he coined, Donk Delusion, right? Because people just expect, players should just be able to play Counter-Strike because of what Donk did, right? And obviously, there's so many other factors that go into this. So, props to the kid for putting on a decent show. Maybe we'll see more of him, or Falcons just know, like, we're going to do this event, right? or we're not going to do this event because Kiyosuke can't be there. I think some choices like that are going to have to be made. But yeah, that's the thing. I think that it's more disappointing the way that it happened. It's like classic Falcons. It's like they could have just lost to Vitality. They could have had a good showing with the individuals and gone, oh, well, we lost to Vitality. But no, we beat Vitality. Now we're playing Parivision. Now we can actually win. Oh,
and
hold
we're
up.
going to get 3-0. But I think that's the problem.
They're
I
all
think,
close maps,
I
though.
think they might have played better against Furia, you know?
In the final.
Right.
Because they still would have been
Because
underdogs.
they would have still
Yeah.
had the same approach. It's like, hey, we're the underdogs, you know. But now, I think I don't know the bookmakers' odds, but they were probably the favorite.
I think some bookmakers did. That was very close. To be honest, I only scrolled like a couple on top of HLTV, and I saw that some had it for Falcons, and I think some less had it for Parry. I might be wrong. People can let us know.
But because of two things, you can't draw massive conclusions from this event. Like, first of all,
For Falcons?
for everyone.
Okay.
More, you know, that's why, because I was going to mention Vitality, and it's like, they're not going to care about, you know, obviously they're going to care about how did they lose, what happened, were they making, so as a team, you know, what was going on, what went wrong in that regard outside
even
of
the overall
Zybo
result.
having a stinker.
He did go missing.
But the fact that it happened at Bounty, you know, is going to be like, all right, let's
It kicks their ass into gear.
Let's get to fixing this, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a wake-up call, but that's all it is. For Falcons, it's going to be disappointing to lose another final in a way, but you don't have your full lineup there. You don't have your coach there either, right? For Parivision, it's going to be the best because they don't care about any of that because they were the biggest underdog coming into the line portion, and they ended up taking down, you know, the big names. I think actually
3 of the 4 big names.
It means the most for them, for their young players, that on an individual level they
Can beat anyone.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, because especially as a Russian team, you know, you revere team spirit and Donk in a way, right? And now you're playing against him and you beat him. Shit, like that's such a huge boost of confidence for you, where, you know, you're just hoping that they avoid some sort of a disaster here where they don't make it out of stage 1 or something like that.
Well,
that
that's
will
the
sour
thing.
the mood.
That's the thing, how quick it could come crumbling down. I hope it doesn't, because I think they play class Counter-Strike. But this is it. This is the learning curve for young players. Now they have the post-win hangover that you need to get over. I don't mean literally, but like they need to get over that damn quick, because today is Tuesday. Tomorrow they play. So you've had your win. You flew yesterday. You've done your media today. You're in a new spot. You start playing again tomorrow. Like the grind doesn't stop. There's no breather now. Like everything you worked for last year, your good result at the major, now this is where you cash it in. And as long as they get enough points, which they should, they're 4th now in the VR, so it feels like impossible for them to drop down, right? Unless they have some catastrophic results. So they should be good for the next major, which is great. Like that's essentially, when I saw Dastan in Budapest, that's what he was talking about. You know, it's about getting enough points to get in the invites. What did you think about the whole Dastan Yakinda situation? Did you see it?
I saw it, yeah. I have no idea what happened. I mean, Dastan
a nice guy.
clarified it. Yeah, exactly. He said it was something minor, like we're in good shape. But it was awkward that he was doing it before the game.
Yeah, but that's why I think actually, it's weird. I don't want to speculate because I don't actually know, right? But it seems like it was probably something like friendly and harmless that didn't end up going that way. And that's what makes it weird, because they do have a relationship where they know each other pretty well. So like, you know, making a joke with a player that you know before the game, but he's walked over there. So look, it doesn't look good, right? But as you said, Dastan did clarify. I would like to have Yakinda clarify it too.
Yeah, because Kinder is like, he's not a dickhead.
No.
Like, he's a chill guy. So for him not to want to shake Dustin's hand after the game,
It's weird, right?
it's telling you like it's something that he was, you know.
Well, they did lose too, so.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm sure that doesn't help the mood. Like Furia looked pretty off, I reckon.
Yeah.
Like, they were missing a lot of shots. Like their players were missing shots that they'd normally hit, and that's not only just in the game that they lost to Parivision. That was even in the game that they beat Heroic on,
Yeah.
right? Especially
They dropped
on
a map
Mirage.
to them with a stand.
They got stomped on Mirage, right? So that's concerning. I think with Vitality, we know that they can like have a dip and then pick back up. With Furia, their major result, the loss to Na'Vi. It's lost to Na'Vi, right?
Yes, in
And
the
then
quarterfinal.
and then now, like this is where we're going. Okay, is it a concerning dip, and can they pick themselves back up?
Yeah, that's why Krakow is going to be fun, because we get a good amount of answers on a lot of questions, right? Also for Spirit. I mean,
True.
To lose to Parivision, it's obviously not the results they were hoping for despite the changes, but that's just how it is, man. Like, people need to understand this. Even though Magix was on the team before and it's still Halley's game that he's calling and everything, and Zontix was there, like, it's still a different dynamic. I mean, the game changes all the time. The map pool is different. Roles have changed a little bit.
Yeah, Zontix got back all these CT spots. Tanir's taken over like Aeon Mirage.
Right. And they made changes while every other contender didn't.
Yeah, it's true.
Furia, Mouse, Falcons, Vitality,
Yeah.
all keeping the same roster.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it's just like people go, okay, this team has Donk, so they should always be in the conversation, which they still are in the conversation. Because what's to say Donk doesn't have another 1.7 rating? Like, there's nothing to stop him from doing that. I think like having Zontix back hopefully brings them a level of consistency in those positions. This is another thing. People are only going to see that reflected in the stats, whereas what some of these players do, and especially what they do for a team, is not always necessarily reflected in the stats. It's going to be now curious to see the growth of Tanir, because this was his first year. Like 2025 is his first year. Because like he wasn't even meant to be on that heroic roster. They meant to have Nilo, and then he was benched at the start of the year because he, for whatever reason, we don't know what the reason was. And then they have Tanir, and then Tanir's the guy for heroic, and then he gets picked up, goes into Spirit as the last piece. They'd already had their success before Tanir had joined. Like with Zwei and Zontix was when they won Bounty and Cologne. So like Tanir has only really felt things when they've been a bit and now he's got new positions. I think Zontix was saying in the interview at Bounty that he is going to be the more passive on the lurks on T side, and Tanir will be the more aggressive, because Magix obviously has to be in the pack along Shiro and Donk. So it makes sense. Like, it all makes sense. I think it's just about getting the output. And there was some good output of these guys. Like, they scoreline wise stomped Parivision on overpass. Actuality wise, game was much closer than the scoreline reflects. Yeah. But like Boris has like a nice 3K on the pistol, and Tanir clutches out the 1v2. Like, it's there. It's just going to take time. And I also think that, you know, if they had lost to Furia or they had lost to Vitality or Falcons, it would have been a much easier loss to stomach. I think it's what you're saying. The fact they lost to Parivision, where they feel like, who the fuck are these kids? Like, we should be schooling them.
I mean, and also what Zontix alluded to somewhat in the interview, talking about Donk and he wants to be the best player in the world on the best team in the world. Like, he doesn't just want the individual accolades. Obviously, he wants the team ones too. And man, he's a young guy. You know, you can't expect him to have the maturity of, I was going to say a 25-year-old, but that still isn't very mature, you know. But as a professional Counter-Strike player, you have to grow up fast. But I mean, you know, how much patience is going to be there? What's the attitude going to be like from him if they keep struggling? All these things are questions you don't want to have to answer if you're Spirit, right? And that's why they made more roster changes. That's why they want to get back on track as fast as possible, right? You want to keep your best player happy.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think you're right. Like, a lot of questions will be answered here. I need to answer a question. I have this like Vicks inhaler, so it's just to help clear your sinuses. And I did it last night.
Looks like a tampon.
Well, I did it like with it covered yesterday on Confirmed, and I think some guy thought I was doing a bump of cocaine. So just so everyone knows, like, I've never done cocaine in my life. I swear to Jesus. And this is just an inhaler to clear my nose. I'm a good boy.
You can get addicted to those too.
Really?
Yeah.
I woke up today, I was very congested, and I think like as soon as I come into the cold, like my skin immediately dries up. Even though I'm like drinking heaps and I'm moisturizing and stuff, my skin, it just doesn't. Australians and cold, we just don't.
It's just
fucking
how it goes,
like it.
man.
I don't like it.
We also, when you get older, I didn't notice it before, but now like it just happens.
Yeah.
You need to put fucking cream on and shit. What the fuck is that, Chad?
The thing that I hate now, I used to be able to like drink shitloads of water, go to bed, would never wake up in the middle of the night needing to piss. Now I always need to piss.
It has
I'm like,
begun.
for fuck's sake.
It has begun.
It's like, I want just a full night's sleep. I only get like 7.5 hours. People are gonna go, that's a lot of sleep. I used to be able to sleep for like 10 hours.
Just drink less water.
Yeah, just see how fucking dry the skin is then. But okay, so we went back, we spoke about Bounty.
Yeah, now we're back to this stage.
So
a lot of games that are hard to call.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
If you could pick the 6 teams to be in the playoff, right? Not that you think are going to be there, but that you'd want to be in the playoffs and think would deliver the best playoffs from a game perspective and entertainment perspective, who would you pick?
Vitality, Falcons, Mouse, Furia.
You said Mouse in a playoff game. Don't they put people to sleep?
I mean, they do. I don't know, man. Like it's
They're good. They're a good team.
Yeah, I know, but
just in playoffs,
I always feel like Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's just that I feel like given the time, with the extra time, they can cook something. I had the same thing for the major. I thought they were dark horse for the major. They were not the dark horse for the major.
I feel like they're in darkness right now. I feel like them not doing bounty. I articulated this poorly last night, but I want to try again. I feel like Cyclone has them in a room, getting them all mad as hell. Just angry at the world, angry at everybody. Like, I want to see him come out and like a player goes up to like say hi and shake their hand and like fucking Torji pushes the guy away. Like, I want to see like Brolin coming up and like someone's on the chair and he just, he grabs the chair and grabs the chocolate bars. I want to see some fucking attitude from these
I
kids.
see Spinks go to Żabka and buy a pack of adult diapers.
Oh, no. For the opponents?
I don't know.
Why?
I can't remember the copy pasta. It's been a long day. I'm tired, Chad. Like, I was just trying to tie on. You're on a roll there.
No, but I just want some attitude from them. I don't want them to be the nice guys. I don't want them to be mature. I don't want them to give the PR answers.
I think it's also a team that would have liked to make a change but couldn't. They couldn't find the right fit. The first domino didn't fall for all these changes to transpire. I don't know, but it does feel like that they're stuck. We were thinking about, can they break through? Maybe they've just hit their ceiling.
But do you use that, right? Like what you're saying, because if they did want to make a change, they can't. You have to accept that, and you hope that everyone still has the buy-in of like, guys, we're still like a top 4 or top 5 Counter-Strike team in the world. We're beating the best teams. We just can't beat them in the grand final.
Right. Yeah, but after a while, that can go on for a little while.
Yeah.
Eventually, you have to. Look at all the teams that broken through and won a tournament.
Okay.
In the second part of the year, even, right? Like Furia rose to number 1 for a while, beating both Vitality and Falcons.
Okay.
Things that Mouse has struggled with. So I think that's past them. But you're right. Forget Mouse for that conversation. But Vitality, Furia, Falcons, Spirit, FaZe, because we're talking about
entertainment.
Yeah.
It's hard after that. Mongols?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Mongols. I had them as a, for the major. I had them pegged to make the playoffs, even though a lot of people didn't because of the whole situation. But man, they just have it. You can't underestimate people playing together for a really long time and finding success together, right? And that's why I thought they were going to struggle, not just because of losing Senzu, but because they were together for so long with him.
Sure.
But Control is,
he fit in and he delivered other than once they got to the playoffs. But that was going to happen.
But that was only at the major. Like at other tournaments, like he was good even in the playoffs. So I guess they had Cobrazera in their sights all along.
Yeah, I think that he was playing for the Huns.
They couldn't get him because of the roster locks and everything. So yeah, I think that's what I would go for.
Okay,
honestly.
Interesting. Yeah, because people are going to watch and they think I'm like a Mao's hater.
And you could just if you want, you can swap Mongols maybe with G2.
Okay. Yeah, so you didn't mention Na'Vi?
No.
Okay. People probably think I dislike Mao's. I don't dislike Mao's. I just think I'm over the same story. Like, it's like, they're good and they upset a good team and then they lose in this game. And it's like, and then their key players go missing and it's like, I just don't want that anymore. Like, they either break through or you don't. Like, stop edging yourself and everybody. It's Jimmy's favorite thing to do, but guys, we need a conclusion at some point.
Yeah.
Blue balls, they're feeling it more than anybody right now. So it's tough because they are a good team. They're a threat. They can beat anybody. They can actually beat anybody.
Unless it's an important game.
Yeah.
Like Falcons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a really, because they will do it, we say, as if a semifinal isn't an important game. It is.
It's just not the
but
most
the final
important,
is more important, right? And for Maus, it even happened in Cologne was the most painful one. I feel like if they were able to win there, maybe it would have been different.
Yeah.
But it actually ended up being worse because they did beat Vitality and then got swept by Spirit, who were a dead team walking, made one roster change and were about to make another one. So it's those moments that really take away from their success.
Yeah, because you imagine like if they don't beat Vitality there, Vitality probably put away Spirit.
Yeah.
And then, That's a crazy, even crazier year right there. The Mongols one, I asked you this for Boot Camp Watch. Was this when we were doing an episode, or did it just ask you for fun? I don't know.
I think episode.
But like, if the Mongols aren't pracking, what are they doing? Where are they? They're just in Mongolia?
Yeah, well, why? They have to be somewhere else?
No, but why aren't they pracking?
It's cool.
Well, I guess they're pracking, but why aren't they? Surely you're meant to be in Europe, right? Isn't that conventional wisdom?
I guess. I mean, they might have.
They could be
picked a
somewhere
different
else.
place. Maybe they went to Krakow because it's
Close.
close
Okay.
or something. I don't know.
Okay. But yeah, I saw Mzinho was doing a lot of streaming over the break. I think Techno was doing some too. They were having a good time.
Yeah. I'm just watching the bracket and these games. Is there anything?
Like in the opening round matches?
Yeah, matches or just teams you want to touch on?
Well, G2 versus Passion's interesting, I think. Like, I think Passion are pretty good.
It's also because on their side of the bracket is Liquid NIP, so 2 EU teams against 2 NA teams.
Well, Liquid's technically a EU team, aren't they?
Well, okay, yes. But an NA org, and it's the other way around for, well, Passion also. Yeah, whatever.
I think Passion, because JT's region is a weak region, is considered NA.
NA, yeah.
But Nerds is no longer considered Asia. He's considered EU.
Yeah.
And they also have Crimbo standing in. So they only have Elish. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, for Liquid, it feels like going from bad to worse. We talked about them in the previous episode, and the news came out for personal reasons. You know, family emergency. Nav won't be able to attend. They're getting Crimbo. And, you know, they lost to Falcons and Bounty. Got 2-0, right? Yeah, they got 2-0.
Yeah, I think at least one of the maps was close.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, but that's also... I have no expectations for them.
I know, yeah, exactly. But I think here, maybe it's just like, you know, Falcons at Bounty finals.
So less pressure because of stand-in.
Less pressure, and you have a stand-in, right? And that gets you to play with more freedom and not overthink and, you know, not play not to lose and all these sorts of things. So we'll see if that's able to liberate them in a way. I think it's a very interesting game because NIP, you know, with the roster change, we're expecting them to improve and be better. They've been inconsistent last year from the moment they, you know, showed up in Astana and were able to qualify for a big tournament, had a couple of good showings, but a couple of big disappointments too, you know, so...
I think the thing with the NIP is Snappy's got some boys around him who like to get fired up. Like this Can guy, he goes fucking nuts. And Wrinkle also enjoys getting fired up too. So there's some guys around Snappy that like getting a bit loud, which is fun, especially in the studio where there's going to be the yelling back and forth. That's one of the things I always miss and I forget. Like the online stuff, it's one thing. Then in the studio, if they're not facing each other, that also is a tough one. So it's good that that's kind of the standard at the moment. You know, it's going to be tough when we're doing EPL and everyone's online and we're in that studio and there's going to be no ambience. That's going to be fucking tough. But yeah, that'll be fun to watch. So what am I missing here? I think I've named almost all the matchups. Who are Legacy
3D
playing?
Max and Foot.
And then Legacy and...
BC game.
Oh, no, it's not Legacy BC game, is
Yeah,
it? It's
is.
NRG. BC game.
Yeah.
Fuck. Never mind. For some reason, my brain went bait. Yeah, okay, because that's right. We're doing that game on the A stream, aren't we? It's like the third match. So Simple back in the server. Jason's not here to slander him, so we'll save that for him. What was the other one you just said?
Foot and 3D Max.
Foot are interesting to me. I think, like, obviously, because they're all such young players. So the growth of these guys, like, these could be some of the stars of the next generation. And last year, they beat FaZe at that China event, CAC or whatever it was. So they're getting in some reps, but they're all just so young. They're just a young team.
Problem is also they're playing 3D Max, and this is their bread and butter.
They will just run over them
games,
aggressive.
Win 2 games,
true.
go into stage 2.
Win nothing. Or win one. Win one in the lower bracket.
Lose first game, win one in the lower bracket, lose. Stay in that 12, 11 spot.
Yep.
Perpetually.
The European pain.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Well, like, you know, I think at least paint a full Brazilian now. I didn't ask Biggie Zero today if there were the communication problems when they had the 2 non-Brazilian guys. Because I imagine, see, this is how ignorant. I imagine they would have been speaking Spanish.
No. What, the 2 players?
Yeah, their native language would have been Spanish, right?
Yeah. But they
spoke
would be
Portuguese.
speaking Portuguese, yeah.
But maybe their Portuguese was really good. Maybe.
Or really bad.
Yeah, maybe.
I know. Maybe Simple's talking Portuguese to Mutulis.
Right. That's going to be one of the fun. I hope we get some real mic'd up moments to that and see if there's any bickering going on.
Maybe it all sounds like Portuguese too simple.
Taz there just like standing behind having to manage this madness. It's going to be great fun. Tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun. Lots of interesting games, lots of interesting teams, a lot to learn. Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be, I'm hyped. Like you brought up the 24 global VRS thing. Like who's missing?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the point.
And I think it's also, we know that this tournament, Cluj and Rotterdam are the three most important ones before the cutoff for the major. This is the only one that has 24 teams.
Yeah, Cluj and 16. Rotterdam has 12 invited by VRS and 4 qualified teams.
Yeah.
So the 4 qualified teams could be anybody.
So obviously we have the big storylines with the tier 1, who's going to win it and all of that stuff. But for some teams, this is the major before the major. For the likes of Team Liquid, for example, who decided to skip Cluj.
Yeah.
Might not be...
There'll be an EPL, but that means they have to make the land portion.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's not impossible.
They might be out of a spot by the time Rotterdam invites kick in. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't look when the Rotterdam invites are, but either way, it's not looking good.
Right, but for some of... That's why. This is like this or going to open lands and having to win them, because if you lose one game there, it's over.
Yeah, they have to go to a Fragadelphia or do something along those lines. I think that's probably what's going to have to happen. Like I was looking at some of the teams that climbed. Striker said within like a 2-week span, MIBR played 35 maps or 35 games. And they played like a whole bunch of events. They were grinding. They've skyrocketed up the VRS rankings. FlyQuest by winning the event in Beijing. They're now like 27th, or at least they were. Big, like 31st. Like they won that Imperium event, and they also won. What were they just playing? Is United something LAN in Sweden, right? So they're just, teams are getting the points. So they are understanding how to play the system properly more now. But yeah, it's going to get real dicey come this April 6th cutoff. And I think, some of your teams like Liquid might have to be attending some of these small events, which you don't want to have to do. You don't want to have to be going where it's not regulated in terms of the setup, or there's no prac PCs, or like you're used to a condition at tier 1 events that you could be losing.
Not even that, bro. Like you don't want to be fighting for just a spot at these events.
True.
Right? Like you want to be in a position where, okay, maybe not contend for the trophy, but be in the conversation for the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the names of these players, they've almost all had success previously on an individual level in different teams or in different iterations of Team Liquid, right? Like it's just sort of embarrassing to some extent if you're in that position. And I also said this today, it's not just about qualifying for these events, because what happens when you qualify as the last seed? You play Vitality in the first round, or you play Furia or Falcons or Spirit. And I brought this up too. Remember all those close Liquid games against Vitality towards the end of the first season of last year? And it's like, oh man, like they're actually like doing decent. Yeah, but because they fucked up, 2 or 3 tournaments before that, now they're coming into this one as the last seed and they have to play Vitality. If they played, I don't know, whatever, Mouse, Falcons, maybe they beat them in that game, right? Like Vitality at the time couldn't get over the hump. So you can't underestimate that either, right? Ultimately, the thing I like the most, comes down to, man, are you good or are you shit? Because if you're good and you win games, like you'll make your way through.
Sure.
And if you're not good, you'll get exposed sooner or later, right? Like you can't weasel your way into the tier 1 or whatever.
No, but that's the
also
thing
because also because all these teams now are way better at understanding VRS and making those runs like M80 did in the NA scene, or NIP to some extent. Like you can't get away with that as much anymore.
Yeah. I think this is something we were talking about early when the VRS was getting introduced, was teams are going to have to be more mindful of the events that they choose, right? And make sure that when you are selecting to go to an event, you're not burnt out and you're going there to win. You're not just going there to get reps in, right? You're not just going there to you're going there to actually make sure that you're taking home a bag of points, because otherwise you're going to miss out on the major. And I think that strategy and that onus is going to continue to develop, right? It's saying that certain teams who are in this Liquid position are having a tough time identifying how to get out of it, whereas teams who have fallen out of it, like the bigs, like the MIBRs, like the FlyQuest we were just talking about, even Legacy. Like there was even Bait. There's a bunch of names. G2. Like I don't know why G2 and Mouse skipped Bounty. That I don't know. That I can't work out. But some of those other names I can understand because they have more to lose than they can possibly gain.
Yeah, BC Game 2, this is their major, mini major in a way. They don't have an invite for Pro League, you said, right? Like,
Yeah, they're not a Pro League.
So, and not at Cluj.
No, because they're like 20.
Yeah.
They're 20
so they
something.
did, this was their like one big one and Bounty
Yes.
that they had. So,
Yeah, they need something good to happen here. And they also lost in the Rio qualifier, but also their second game in that Rio qualifier was super late. I don't want to read too much into that. And they also weren't together for too long as a team.
Yeah.
So it's like if they can come in here and get a win, like if they're able to get through the stage 2, that's a win for BC Game.
yeah, definitely.
That's a win for BC Game. And, as much as people want to be like, okay, look at this fucking mutant of a team, it's still simple. I'm still wanting to see the guy in the server. I want to see like where he's at. So, people are always going to be excited to see Simple. It's just going to be that guy. It's hard to not be excited to see him.
And listen, at the end of the day, they're playing against Legacy in the first game who can stumble. Like
they had a poor major.
Legacy is the favorite, but still. And then it's Foot or 3D Max on the other side.
So it's doable.
So it's doable, right? Like,
it's not impossible.
but they did be the underdog in every match.
Yeah. I'd agree with that sentiment. Let me check how long we've been going for here.
I think we did.
It looks like an hour and 6 minutes.
I think we did well here.
That's pretty good. No Jason, bit of a janky setup. You've been traveling all day.